Hi everyone, my name is Oluchi. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Okay, so today I'm going to be teaching us how to create this keyhole. I had to do a little bit of sketch. I'm not very good at drawing, so pardon me. Okay, so but I needed to illustrate it, that way you understand my explanations. Okay, so here I have my basic upper bodies for front. I expect that everybody who is watching this should already know how to draft your upper bodies. Okay, so today we're just basically talking about how to create this keyhole. So how do you achieve this keyhole? There are different designs of keyhole. We have the very sharp. So this one is not very sharp. This one looks like it's slightly curved. We have some that are like a V design. So it all depends. All of them are keyholes. So but the major thing here is the contour aspect. I need you to really pay attention to the contour aspect, because that is what allows your keyhole style line to stay in place, to lay flat on your body. Okay, so remove. So now I've gone ahead. This is my basic neckline. Okay, I went ahead to come down with 1 inch. You can do ½ inch, you can as well do 1.5 inch. Depends on how wide, it depends on how wide you want the distance from here. Okay, so let's say this is your basic neckline, right? Personally, I don't like my dresses choking. Okay, so from here I came down with 1 inch because I don't want this to choke me. By the time you contour, you know, there's this tendency that this place becomes a little bit tightened and it might affect your neckline. Okay, so that is why I normally come down. So the next thing you want to do is go ahead to measure your shoulder and divide it by 2. This is 4 3/4. So to divide it by 2, I'll be having 2 3/8. Okay, so I've marked the center of that, of my shoulder, and then I'm going to be connecting it to my bust points. This is the first thing I would want to do. Okay, so after that, the next thing I'm going to be considering is my keyhole design. What do I want? What am I looking for? Okay, so I might want, some people, some of these designs could come like this. So I'm just giving you a little bit of illustration, that way you understand. Some want it as open as this, so it depends on what you're looking for. Some come like a sharp V, some come like a sharp V. Okay, so whatever the case may be, just is the same contour process you're going to require. Okay, so to start with, you have to decide the depth of your strap. Okay, so this is either called the strap or your bustier, whichever one you feel comfortable with. Okay, so you want to measure your client the depth of your cleavage and also of the strap. Okay, see how I'm demonstrating it, the depth of your cleavage and then the strap. Okay, so right now I'm working with it depends on how low you want it. I'm working with 7 inches as my strap. Okay, 7 inches as my strap. And then, so this line I just drew here is this strap I'm talking about. Okay, then I'm going to decide to use, I've decided to use like 8. From either you measure from your collarbone downwards to your cleavage, or you measure from your shoulder. Okay, so for this I'm working with from my neckline. Okay, sorry, from my neckline I'm working with 6.5, or yeah, so this is my bust point. I don't want it to get to my bust point, but it depends on your clients if they want their cleavage to really show. Okay, so I'll be doing 6.5 from my collarbone, right from here. Then if I'm measuring from my shoulder, it's going to be 9 3/8 or 9.5. Okay, so I'll just mark that point there. Now coming to my, don't forget that this is our chest line. Okay, and then this new line I drew now is I said is my strap line. So whatever works for you. Okay, you can do 6, you want it high, you can do 7, you can even use your chest line for that to do the contouring. Okay, so what I'll do next is measure from this divided line that I got from my shoulder to my bust point on my 7 inches. That's my strap line. I'll measure and mark 1 inch towards the armhole side, okay, and then towards my center front I'm going to mark 1/2 inch. Now when I've done that, I'll go ahead to connect this from my bust point to this point, from this point to this point with straight lines, okay. So you can decide to contour. I'm not going to be talking about the under bust contour for today, just, you know, let's focus on this. So when I've done this, right, I'll go ahead to connect my dart lines towards my shoulder lines, okay, towards my shoulder lines. This elimination is what is going to help us to contour the keyhole, okay, before I draw it. So I'm not going to be drawing the keyhole until I'm done contouring. Now the next thing I want to do is this 1.5 inches that I marked here, I'm going to be extending it, meaning it simply means that my armhole is going to be a little bit affected. But in most cases, in most cases I use my my shoulder line measurements, or I can decide to, because you know we normally come in with 3/4. Sorry, I think I made a mistake here. This 3/4 and not half, okay. So this is supposed to be this way and this way, okay. So yeah, so actually from here, or from my armhole line, we're supposed to add these measurements back. So now because there is going to be a keyhole, if you extend this way, it's going to affect the armhole greatly. So what we do is we just go ahead to use this our shoulder line as our new armhole. So what I'm going to do is just connect from my mid armhole to my bust measurements, okay. So this automatically is going to cover up for this thing that I'm removing. Now note that what we took out is what, 1.5, right, and then what we have here is a 3/4. It doesn't affect, for me, it doesn't affect my outfit in any way. I work with it like that and it comes out really nice. But if you're not sure, you can go ahead to extend, but note that as you're extending, your armhole is becoming smaller. So try this method, it will really work for you, okay. So I'll go ahead to contour. I'll go ahead to close up this, then we draw our keyhole design. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is to draw my bustier, my style line, that's for my strap, okay. So before I do that, I will I will overlap my darts, because I love accuracy in my work, okay. So it's not when you're sewing, then one part of the fabric is way longer than the other one, okay. So I'll overlap the half inch darts on top of the 1 inch darts, okay. I'll do this first, and then I'm going to use my ruler to connect from my cleavage to that point first, okay. So if I want, I can extend it like this, okay, but if I don't, I can still from here curve it or use this particular line. It depends on the design you're looking for, okay. I hope you guys can see this clearly. Okay, so now I've drawn my style, right. So I'll go ahead to cut it out, and then I'll show us how to create the keyhole. So to cut this, I'll close up again, use my scissors to eliminate this, to cut out this. Don't forget that this is our new armhole line, okay. So you go ahead for this part, just go ahead to do your underbust contour, then you know, just cut out whatever. So today basically we're not talking about that. Today we're discussing the keyhole. So now that I have this, right, I have to contour, I have to eliminate these darts before I can draw my keyhole. If I don't do that, my keyhole is not going to relax ever, okay. So what I'll do is slash one of the lines first, okay, slash it. So I've gone ahead to slash. Okay, so what you want to do is, now this is the slashed, this is our dart. So either you cut out the dart and, you know, hold it back with a paper tape, or I like to overlap. Oh my gosh, I drafted on 2 papers. I like to overlap. Okay, so I overlap because it automatically affects your shoulder. So overlapped, and then I'll hold it down with a tape. Hold it down with a tape, and then I'll go ahead to redraw my shoulder line. Okay, I'll go ahead to redraw my shoulder line. You can see that, right? So now this is the time to create your keyhole. You can now decide how you want it. Don't forget that the reason we came down with 1 inch is so that our neckline is not choking, right? So I want a sharp keyhole. So I can decide to come down with 1/2 inch. That's that area where, you know, around the neckline where there's like a 1/2 inch or 1 inch or 1.5 inch. Okay, so you decide if you want like a 1/2 inch. I'll do 1/2 inch here, and then I can do this. I can create a sharp V, right? I can create a sharp V so that by the time I cut this out, right? So for those of us, most times the beauty is actually when it's like open. If you cut this, it might really look small. Okay, so for the one I made for my client, I actually I think hers is not really sharp. Her own is not sharp. Okay, it's more like this. Yeah, it's more, it's this. Yes, so I created that design myself. Okay, so this is also, you can feel free to draw any style line you want, any design of your choice. You can even, you know, make it slanted, curvy, with irregular shapes, whatever. The major thing is this contour. The moment you contour this, as you draw this, it's not going to gape. You're not going to have excesses around there. Okay, and so that is basically also, you go ahead to cut it. I'm gonna cut this one. Okay, so you can still have, you can see, like I said, the beauty of this thing is when it's wide. Okay, so you decide how you want it. Sorry, you decide how you want it. Okay, so you can make it sharp, you can make it curvy. Okay, so, and don't forget, another thing to note is the distance from here to your cleavage, so that you know the amount of opening you're creating, right? So this is it. I'm gonna cut it out, and that's all. So when you finish cutting and sewing and blah blah blah, whatever it is you're doing, oh my gosh, whatever it is you're doing, by the time you're done sewing, you have your fabric like this. So by the time you close up, okay, you sew and close, you have your keyhole design. Perfect. Okay, so you can see how it's already looking very beautiful here. Okay, so it's definitely going to be like this. Okay, so don't mind this, it's because our dart here is not closed, so when we close it, the pattern paper will relax and you have your open keyhole. Okay, so if you liked this video or enjoyed it, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to our YouTube channel, because we'll be doing lots and lots of sewing and drafting techniques. You can share with friends and fellow fashion designers who are interested as well. Thank you very much. Please don't forget to click on the notification bell to always remind you when we make a new post. Thank you.